Okay, it's 7 o'clock, I always start on time, so I'm gonna call the meeting to order. And before I get started, I want to introduce our new commissioner, Sam Avilu.
Yes.
Thanks to Michelle Peterson, she recommended him to me, and we talked, and he was approved at last month's council meeting. So welcome, Sam.
Thank you.
This is a good group.
I know half of them.
And we thank Michelle for recommending.
She's a great guy.
Michelle's my pal. So I asked her to join, but she said she wants Sam to be on. I think so. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Before we I introduce our guest, I need a motion to approve the January 24th minutes, which are always ably prepared by our two junior commissioners. They do a good job. I look at them and I do a little change, but not too much, so can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we.
Have a second?
A second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I always tell the guest presenter that we're going to call on him or her first, so they don't have to stay for the entire meeting, although they can. It's an honor that I once again introduce to you our police safety director and also our police director, Corvana. I always confuse that.
I didn't even recognize.
Mayweather or
It's Corvella. Everybody calls me Q. Mayweather.
Because in the emails, sometimes I get it back.
Ooh, I'm ashamed.
So this is cute.
Okay.
I asked her to come for our annual meeting. She's going to go over her aims and goals for the year and tell the HRC how we can help her. I hear very good reports about her from everybody. So the floor is yours, Karen.
So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I would first like to say, I think when I met most of you in the HRC meeting on Zoom, we were during COVID and it was sleepy, Franklin. But Franklin is alive and well right now, very busy, a lot going on, a lot of good stuff going on. I think maybe you've heard about our Arrive Together program where we're responding to mental health calls with a clinician and a police officer. When I first came, I promised to do something like that within our town. And in addition to having the Arrive Together, we also are aiming to train all of our police officers in crisis intervention by 2025. So, and it's not easy because it's a 40-hour class, so that means the cop has to go for the whole entire week. And the county, and they have classes, but they limit the size to like 30, 35 people. So imagine everybody trying to train their officers at once. It takes time, but we're getting there. We have right now more than 10% of our officers have it. I think we're more closer to 20%. And every class, we're just going to keep pecking away at it. But the good thing about the whole process is that the officers learn from each other even before they get the training, because they see how the trained officers and our Arrive Together officer deal with mental health calls. And so far, with our mental health calls, with this Arrive Together program, since December, we have now almost 200 calls of service, which is tremendous because previously, the years we've tracked it, we only had 300 calls for the whole year. So either we got more popular, or we're using it in the right way. Instead of dealing with people, charging them with criminal mischief and things like that. But I just want to keep it clear that sometimes, even though it's the Arrive Together officer and we're trying to not arrest people, sometimes that has to happen, especially if there's injuries still involved, because someone can go through an episode and we know that they need help, But if they cause damage, especially physical damage to a person, you know, we have to go to the prosecutor's office and be guided in charges. Because I do get calls about that. Like, it's like, I get it. I know the person's sick, but, you know, during that episode, if they, you know, the cop sees any type of bodily injury on another victim, then we have to do what we have to do. But we're the first in Somerset County, first township to do it. I think North Plainfield is trying to come on board. A lot of police departments, you know, they claim they don't have the numbers that we have. I personally think they just don't look at it the way we look at it, because, you know, I'll give you a perfect example. When I came, we had a young man in Stop and Shop who was stealing, but after they approached him, he said that it was his Stop and Shop, and he owned the Stop and Shop, and he was going to get dinner, get food to go home to make food for the workers and for his family. So obviously that tells you he was having, you know, a mental episode. But that whole incident, so normally what they would do, grab him, charge him with theft, shoplifting, whatever, throw him in jail, and that's the end of it. You know, he was acting normal by the time they finished that process. And a lot of people do, but obviously there's an underlying problem. So I think that's pretty much what's happening. But we're working with the county to help them help other towns in this county jump on board. And I'm like a businesswoman first. Talking to the county, I know they have a grant. I'm like, we need a piece of that if we're gonna help you teach other people how to do what we're doing. So they're agreeing, which is good. They're gonna compensate part of our officer's salary because, like I said, he is helping also recruit other departments.
Does everybody know what the Arrive Together program is? Okay, excellent.
Yeah. So March 1st, this Friday, we will have another police test. We did one last year, and let me explain the process to you. In other civil service tests, they get a list of thousands of people, and you might, out of that list of thousands of people, get like 10% viable candidates. Then once you do the physical, the background check, the blah, 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 that number goes down like to, you know.
They end up being.
It's low.
What do you?
It's low. I will say we were lucky, our first round, I think out of the list, and keep this in mind, we got 300 people on the list, but only say 100 people meet the test score. And then, like I said, going through those processes, it dwindles down some more. I'm planning ahead because I know the list that I have, I think I might be down to about 5 or 6 candidates. So I know, guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna need it again, probably by the end of the year, beginning of next year. So you have to do it now, start now, the test will be in the spring. And also I'm hoping that we get some Franklin graduates. What do you think about that? You know, I went to the high school already telling them that we were gonna have a test. And, you know, a lot of people worry about the requirement for a college degree. When I came here, I recognized that we hire police officers from other townships who don't have a college degree, but we make our own have a college degree. So the process weeds itself out, because if someone does not have a college degree, I'm not saying always, a lot of times they don't score as high maybe as somebody with a college degree. There'll be something else, it kind of evens out, it makes up for itself. But I don't think that's always a, how do you say it, a determining factor, because I mean, I think most of us here are from that generation where we know most people who had jobs didn't have college degrees. My grandparents didn't have college degrees, but they go on and they're very successful in life. Yes.
But I think the college degree requirement for all corporate jobs have gone away because I am recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you 60% of the corporate,
Speak up, sir.
60% of the corporate who are using college degree to hire, those requirements have gone away in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
You was explaining the criteria to become a police officer?
Yes.
That's what you was doing. And that's what the Arrive program is.
No. I changed. I finished with the Arrive Together when he asked if you knew what that was. Arrive Together is just the mental health program with the police officer, where we're trying to make sure if someone, if this is it a crime or do they need mental health?
Right.
Right, that's one program. I started with March 1st, Friday, we're going to have a new police test.
Oh, okay, now I see, yeah.
Okay.
I got them confused. Yeah,
It's okay. It's okay. So, what were you saying? You said something about,
Criteria.
So who approves that you need to have a college degree for Franklin residents to, is what my question
the
is.
council. It's in the ordinance. The requirements for the tests are in the ordinance. Yeah.
And is it a 2-year or 4-year?
You do not need a college degree.
Oh, you do not? Okay,
I'm saying you
okay.
do not.
Yeah,
Oh, you do not? Oh,
No,
I
we used
understood that
to.
you do.
Okay, so that's why I thought,
No, you used to need a college degree, and I found out we were hiring people from other departments who did not have a college degree,
Right.
but we wouldn't hire from here that way. And I'll say this, and you know how it works with experience. Our best candidates without a college degree are candidates who have been working. You know, they've had jobs, they've worked security jobs, they've worked this job, they worked that job. And I remember someone said something to me about one young man that, you know, well, he's had a lot of jobs, he's 24, but consistent jobs and overlapping jobs. He was, you know, he showed us he's a worker. He was in good jobs. He was doing like garage doors, he was fixing refrigerators here. And, you know, when we interviewed him, he said, you know, I can work well with my hands, but I want a career. You know, I've always wanted to do this job. So, and he was so great that we hired him, and then he went on to another department, which is always,
Unknown caller.
listen, which is always, after 2 years, that is a risk as well. So,
Is there a
question.
retention program then?
well,
Your-
you know
your
what it
market
is?
retention.
Part of my retention program is trying to get people who are more home-based, more dedicated to Franklin, because the common factor with officers being hired here, and usually, not always, because a lot of officers do live somewhere else, leaving are those officers that live far away. They live in Ocean County, but they work here 4 days, and as soon as something closer to home opens up, you know what happens. They want to move closer to home. So I've actually been giving preferential treatment to officers who live closer to home.
That's good.
Right now, the only one I'm on the fence about, like, not hiring anymore is Edison residents, because it seems like they come here, get skilled up, and go back to Edison. And I'm like, you know, try Edison first, we'll see.
I have a question, I have another question. You was talking about the mental health program that you had.
Yes.
Okay. I'm quite interested in one, based on what you've been doing so far,
Mhm.
what percentage of residents, where do they come from, basically, from your program in which you're running?
Where do the residents come?
Yes.
I don't understand your question.
My
Like-
question is this.
Like what part of town?
Yeah.
All over.
I'll put it that way.
All
All
over.
around. You're gonna
All
say all
over.
around.
All over.
Okay.
Mhm.
The reason I'm asking you this is because in the fourth ward, we have been absence of a community-based organization for quite some time now. So we haven't had that type of training for our young adults. Shut up, boy. We haven't had that compassionate amount of training or mentorship towards young individuals that may be causing
Mhm.
the arrest problems, and they could be mentally, they would meet some mental health. You understand what I'm getting at?
No, I understand, and that's what this program is about.
That's what I
And-
figured.
And I can tell you this, since I've been here, our arrest of youth and juveniles has really tremendously declined. I mean,
Good,
we
that's
get-
what I'm.
I mean, well, when school was out, we had almost none. And most of the complaints we get are through school. Other than that, outside of school,
Okay.
our youth program, our youth being in trouble are minuscule. But the Arrive Together program also helps young people. It's not dedicated to just adults.
I know with the Police Community Relations Bureau, I know the role which they're playing in terms
Yeah,
of the
but
youth.
this
in
is
the
beyond
community.
that. This is another phase of it.
Right.
Mhm.
I just want to know if the mental health does play a part in that particular, their particular job.
Mhm.
And I want you to understand that some of us people understand that, and we just want to know if it's that we know some of the reasons why, you might be able, somebody that would be able to be introduced to your mental health program as opposed to going to jail or being arrested.
So, I'm not
So
sure
let me
I'm
explain a
understanding
little
your
bit, maybe a simpler way. So John, if somebody calls the police department right now, they will answer it, they will assess whether or not they should go, an officer and a mental health specialist should go to that place.
Good.
And with the police goes with the plain clothes, I understand.
They're both in plain clothes.
They wait for, yes, and then there's no sirens, or the person, when they see them, they think that they are just two regular helper to help the person.
Good.
And then they will talk to that person.
Well, no, we have to tell them we're the police.
Oh, yes,
Because our
yes.
police have the gun still. We have to
Correct,
tell
but
them.
it's not like they see the flashing lights and
Yeah.
everything, be scared and do something strange.
So I think part of your program, part of your question also, where I'm going also is, maybe a lot of you have heard that Franklin, we got opioid settlement money from these companies, and we got the largest amount, and listen, I'm being stalked by people who want me to spend it in a certain way, and I'm like, I haven't done anything with it yet, because I want to be very intentional when we spend that money.
That's Board of Education.
Huh?
Board of Education, you said BOE?
Opioid.
Oh, opioid, I thought you said
Drug settlement.
I thought you said BOE, I understand what the opioid problem.
Okay.
Oh, no kidding, okay.
So,
I'll be watching.
but I want to be very intentional when we do spend that money. I mean, easily we need cars, easily we need this, easily we need that, but I've held off because part of what you're saying about young people, and you know, I've had companies, rehabilitation companies call me and I'm like, okay, so pause. There are a lot of drug treatment programs for adults, and I'm not saying we don't need them. I'm not saying eliminate them. I'm saying fund them, yes, yes, yes. But there are little to no programs for young people for prevention of drug use and to deal with mental health. So I'm trying to find that perfect marriage, if you say, with someone who can help us do that. So when people start coming to me asking questions, what are our company doing? Like, well, do you deal with youth?
Yeah.
Well, no, we don't deal with young people. Okay, then.
And you know, they
that,
also-
that shuts it right down for me.
And you
right
know,
there.
too, they just have built, if you guys don't know, they just have built 3 marijuana stores in the hood. Okay?
That's a whole nother topic.
I know,
They're all
but it all relates to what she's saying now. I
Well,
understand.
no, it doesn't.
No,
it
I know
doesn't.
you
This is
say no.
opioids.
No, it doesn't.
I know better than that.
No, it doesn't. No, it
Yeah, okay.
doesn't.
I know
I don't,
that.
and I tell people this,
I know.
I am a mother of 2 young adults. I don't want them doing anything, but that's not the world we live in,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And we have to focus more on preventing it. And, you know, I'm more concerned, honestly, with the young people with the vaping.
Yeah, I have no problem.
So what do you see out there in the world about vaping? I mean, I know they have an anti-vaping program in school, right?
I have seen it happen, notably in bathrooms, although it's declined, actually, surprisingly, in the past couple of months, either
I
due
figured that too.
to fear
Yes.
or the actual programs that Franklin Township High School puts in place
So
for
I
vape
think
prevention.
Dr.
It has been
Dr. Solomon has been focusing on that, and that's part of the thing I'd like to work with them and fund things through the high
Mhm.
school to
Yeah, we
try.
definitely
And
benefit from
listen,
it.
you said high school, but, I mean, last week we got a call about Samson G. I mean, it's happening at different levels, different ages.
It has declined in the street too a little bit.
In the classrooms.
Yeah,
And, you know,
vaping has changed a little bit there, because of all the mechanisms they put in around school, but also I think the marijuana is increasing with the government
taken
fairs
over,
and things
yes,
like
that's
that
what
in
he's
school
saying,
now.
right,
You know, 'cause
exactly.
it's not visible as much, you know.
How'd you handle it in
well,
North Brunswick?
Same thing as Franklin. Franklin does a really nice job there with the municipal
They're
lines.
doing a good job, I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Municipal alliance and Franklin does a nice job in the.
And that's
industry.
right, he's right too, that's another reason why the basing has closed, you know, I'm on top of, you know, because the more, they start doing that, it's supposed to base, they always basing it, last summer, man, summer before last, you know what I'm saying?
Anything else?
and
So I have a go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Director, I think one of the questions that most people probably have their mind is, considering the high number of burglars that happening in town.
Yeah.
And I know the police department is really doing a great job and doing their best. Maybe you can shed a little bit light on what are the specific things that this police department is doing to help to reduce or educate. I know as far as education, you've done a lot.
Smaller group, and I could say it, it's like sell your Range Rover and BMW.
Because that's what they're targeting, the expensive cars.
And Porsche, and Porsche truck.
And the converters.
Hmm?
And
The converters.
Silverados.
Carolina, the converter seems like a big thing, not in Franklin, but
No,
in the
that's a
community.
whole, that comes in spurts,
Yeah.
that's a whole, that
It's a
actually.
nationwide problem.
Can't,
Yeah, it
it is, and not that I want anything to happen, I prefer the catalytic converters. I'm very, what's the word?
Cautious?
No. I'm very, I'm gonna just say, it's at the top of our list right now, the burglaries, because, you know, hearing a 911 call, a woman running through her house trying to hide because someone just broke in the glass door, and, you know, not that just because, wherever it happened in town, but 5 minutes from where I live, you know, I literally, when they told me the call came in and what was happening, I got out of bed, got dressed, because it's down the street. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And not kidding me because my town, my neighborhood, but yeah, my town, meaning Franklin. Matt will tell you, like, I was very blunt with my cops about, you know, there's sometimes babies about being held over and over time and stuff like that. And I'm like, imagine us telling that woman we had nobody to send to her because I let everybody go home because they were crying about working too long. Imagine if she had no one. The cavalry came, but the thing is, I don't want that to happen to anyone. That is very traumatizing to any person, any family. It would be traumatizing to me, you know, to wake up to the sound of somebody coming into my house. So I say that to say, and I preach this every week just about, it's important to have an alarm system. It's important to have cameras. It's important to have lighting around your home. I know we live in a neighborhood where, honestly, I never really thought much about it the past 3.5 years I've lived here. But that has made me think about it multiple times a day because of what I do. But every day, every night, I go home and, you know, I'm driving around looking at all of you. It makes me think about it. Like, I want to sometimes ring some people's bells and say, what are you doing? Turn the lights on. You know, a bulb costs you, it costs you roughly $1 a day to run lights around your house. So it's worth it. You know, you buy a $700,000, $800,000 house, a $200,000 house, and you don't want to install, you could probably get a free alarm, which I'm working with our friends, I'm not going to say their name, the A word, since you've been giving us, all this havoc, I feel that's the least they could do is give us some discounts on alarm systems, since they also, Amazon and Ring partner or something apparently. But, you know, seriously, it's important that you think about safety. You can't just go home and turn off the lights and go to bed anymore. You have to make sure, I've heard it all. I know too much.
Lock your car.
No, lock your windows.
No,
Lock your windows, close your windows, lock your doors, lock your back doors. Not all of these, like that was the one horrific one, them breaking the glass door and doing that. That may have happened in all the cases maybe 2 times. A lot of the majority, people leave their doors unlocked, they leave their windows unlocked, they just climb right in.
Can I share a story what just happened to me yesterday morning? I'm in Atlanta. I get a call. My phone is off. My daughter was ringing my phone. I didn't hear it. Then all of a sudden, the alarm company calls. Now I got the police at my house yesterday morning. This just happened. And he said, your alarm is going off. But Sloman's told me that something was walking around. Well, my daughter had just dropped the dogs off to the house and didn't put the alarm on away. She had it on stay, so any motion going on. So the police officer was nice enough to talk to me because I was talking to him through the Ring. You know, if you have a Ring doorbell, you can talk to anybody outside. So I was talking to him, and I said, well, just give me a second to look in my house, because I have cameras that I can actually look inside too. So I said, oh, well, I could see my dogs walking around, it's okay. So he said, you don't need me to do anything? I was like, no, thank you, it's okay. But just think, if I didn't have the Ring doorbell or cameras, I could have said, okay, maybe somebody else is, in the house, but that's what I'm saying, you should get
And I
cameras.
had my house broken into about 10 years ago now, it's been a while, and I did have lights on, because I've always been crazy about lights and timers. I'm a city girl, I'm from New York City. And still, I mean, that was the first clue that there's something was wrong, because we entered the house, and all the lights that would go on normally were off, so we knew something was up. And they broke in through the back door, which was locked. So even doing those things, but if you take extra precautions, obviously any number of those things, lighting as well as.
So when I moved to Franklin, my neighbor next door, a nice older gentleman, he said he had been there 20-something years. And I mean, before my furniture and kids were moved in, I started putting in cameras. So he's like, something I should know? I was like, well, I'm just different. I'm just different. I did the same thing in Piscataway. Every one of my blocks didn't have an alarm. And I'm like, what? I mean, we're different. We have to have certain security measures just because we have weapons and things too.
What part of town do you live in now, Ms. Quivon?
Excuse me?
What part of town do you live in now?
Area 2.
Erickson?
Area 2.
Okay.
Anything else?
Ward 2.
Ward 2.
Ward 2.
Ward 2.
Well, it's Area 2 to us.
Okay.
All different for us.
I'm sorry.
Any other questions for Q?
But just, keep in mind, if an alarm is important, I'm just, everything you can. And if you need help with it, like I said, we're working on a program with Amazon and Ring to try and help people, at least get a discount. That's what I asked them for. Listen, we're asking for everything. We're like, Shaq could come out and do a promo, whoever,
Will you share that with us at some
We will.
meeting?
As soon as we have it, he'll bring that here.
Okay.
We'll have it on social media. We'll,
Yeah.
trust me, we'll tell everyone because we want everyone to do it.
It's a good idea.
We thank you and the police department because we are seeing more patrol cars.
So
Definitely.
without saying that, I was being modest about it, but we have like a 24/7 detail now just for the burglaries. And quite frankly, until I know that these individuals are arrested, we're probably gonna keep it going for a while. But just to say this last part, Gary, I know it's not gonna
No,
go.
go ahead.
I went to New York today, visit NYPD commissioner, because they kind of pushed it over here. Because this was a big problem for them last year, and now it's a big problem in New Jersey. And they say, oh, that died down. I was like, no, it didn't. It came here. And then they joked, and I said, and they seem to steal the cars and run back to you guys with them. So we're working with them too in their real-time crime center because they have more toys than we do. They have facial recognition software. They have a vehicle recognition software. They have things that, little tools and gadgets that we need help with. So that honestly, we can't afford it and we really don't need it on the level that they have it.
They have it so that if a car passes, they know it's stolen. Is that one of the good things?
They can
Yeah,
identify
they can
it
read
more
them.
easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that. We have that.
Any questions, Pete?
I was just gonna say, I live in a 55 and over community, and anytime, and there's many committees and clubs in there,
Like,
police are always coming over to speak to the residents. There's never a question about make themselves available, whether it be the detective department or whatever department. So we're very, very happy, and we see quite a few of the police cars through our community. So,
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to, commend you on that, you know what I mean? In regards, and the other thing was, I think it's great that as you're hiring, to hire kids who went through, lived in the community, they have a lot more pride in the community.
right.
Whether they, whether they went to college or not, they couldn't, but as you said, they were working or something like that, they can always go back as they're in work on the police department. But I think that's great that you're hiring within. I think, it goes a long way. They know a lot about the community, a lot of where things are, and get some good
Yeah, and
things
we
like
went
that.
to the high school for, what was that? We were at,
Oh, for the driving safety.
driving safety and project graduation.
Yeah, project graduation.
Yeah, we were there for project
I
graduation.
saw you on stage. Yep.
And we reminded them, that we're having a test and who knows, maybe you can come back and get back to your community. Yes.
Any other, yes?
Yeah, what's the balance between your new hires and your overtime? Like, how does that work out? What's better, to hire more people so that you don't constantly need the overtime, or?
So, I'm not hiring like more people, I'm trying to reach my TO. Because right now, my table organization, I'm not full. Like, I had that for like a hot minute, and we were so happy, so proud at the end of 2022, sorry, we were full. And then it was like, it's like retirements, transfers, so, we're not full. So I'm not, you said, what's the balance between the hire and the overtime? It balances out. It does, because.
So, like, asking them to put in overtime, would you need that if you had more guys and girls on shift?
Be less overtime, man, I know what she's saying.
Possibly less overtime,
Yeah.
possibly, because you know what's gonna happen? The more cops I have on shift, right, then it just, how do you say this? We'll meet the minimum, but my goal is still to have like 8 to 9 cars each shift, and then just overlap, like the double. That's always my goal.
So is it more costly to taxpayers to have all overtime, or is it better to just add more to the shift?
So
Or
this
does
is
that
how,
balance out?
so this is how it balances out, because benefits cost a lot.
Yeah.
Benefits are in the realm of $55,000 to $60,000 a year just for benefits. I'm not paying that.
That's about
just
right.
in overtime. So that's why I say.
So that's how it balances?
That's how it balances.
Yeah.
You know, and then think about this, my younger cops are not making what my senior cops are making. And I've changed that, like a third of the department of younger cops now. So we're saving that way too, because the older cops, their top pay is 130. My newer cops are making like 50.
You have to go to the council for more policemen?
So-
Did you report to the council? on
So
that?
there's things I'm requesting, and just real quick, and I'll
Yeah, you have a council with it.
I know, just real quick. So there's some people, and if you work somewhere, you know how this works. If someone's ready to retire, but they're not gone, or someone's on no pay status for an extended period of time, and really, we know they're not coming back, but we have to keep them there. We're not paying them, we're not giving them benefits, I'm not doing anything for them right now. And I just know it's just a matter of time before they're completely off the books. I'm asking to fill those people in.
Okay.
Because those numbers matter too. If I have 3 or 4 people like that, that's 3 or 4 additional people I could have hired and actually working.
Right.
And again, these people are making like a third of what my most senior cops are making. So, and their overtime is half of what the senior cops are making. So that's why I said it balances out. It's not, if I had all 109 cops and they were all the top pay, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd be stressed about that.
Do they eventually get to go up to that top pay? Because they deserve it.
With attrition, it just, since I've been here, I've always seen like we have 3 columns. I've always seen like at least that 1 column is new people. Yeah, I mean, it's the nature of the game.
Quick question, what is the capture rate after burglaries?
What was the question?
The
Capture rate.
So, can I tell you this, and I'm being fully transparent, they have not been arrested here, but they have been arrested, and it's not capturing them, it's keeping them in. With bail reform, a lot of them come out on ankle bracelets, a lot of them are released.
I mean, in terms of recovery, because my home was broken into in 2006, and we were on vacation. The neighbors called us that, you know, there were burglaries in the neighborhood, and they broke the front door. That's how they got in. It was a stormy weather. The neighbors did not hear what was going on, and they had the whole weekend probably in our home. When we come back, it was like a tsunami run through our, you know,
That's how my house was.
Well, and that's another thing that we've been pushing out to residents, to make sure that you call us and tell us if you're gonna be away. If you're gonna be away, tell us so that we can do checks.
And that's what I told the guy yesterday. I'm gonna be away until the day. He said he'll make sure they're up and down.
And we do, like during the snowstorm, one house in particular was driving us crazy because Or like, you know, we checked around the house. I don't know, if you did, probably did you check into room?
Yes.
Yeah. So all their cars in the driveway, when we had that big snow, everything's covered with snow, no walk marks in the snow, which was good, meaning nobody went in, but we're like, you think they're in there? You think they're okay? Like, those are the things we deal with too. We're more proactive and we're like, you think they're okay? Like, so we start making calls, come to find out they were away, they didn't tell anybody, but it worked out. So we'll do that too.
I have to
There's
move
one
on.
thing, no, I just wanna,
Go ahead,
I
John.
just wanna tell, you know, and I know you don't.
That's important, John.
I just wanna tell, Ms. Mayweather that, people from the neighborhood, Franklin Township has the finest police department in the state.
All right.
And I'm an example, I can tell you that's the truth. And it's because of a number of factors, like the young man, Mr. Russo, and some of the other people, factors that you've added to the police department. And I know that's a job that we have to do in the community in terms of behavioral patterns so that you won't we call you. But I want everybody to know, because of Miss Mayweather here, Franklin Township has the finest police department in the state. And
Well, they were great
I'll
before I
back up
got
anyway.
here. They just really, they needed someone to kind of.
Yes, and she is the person.
You know what it
that-
is? It's like if you have a piece of silver, you know, it's silver. It's gonna be great, and then it gets tarnished, and then you gotta buff it up and shine
Gotta
it
clean it
again.
off.
And that's all we had to
I
do.
gotta move on.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
I'm
much.
sorry.
And I think
Thank you so much.
They could use you every 6
Okay.
months.
Let's move on. As Johnny says, we have a good police, and we have a wonderful police director now that I...
Absolutely, you got a wonderful staff.
Okay, Mr. Officer Russo, you're on. Police report.
I don't know if I can follow up the director, but I'll do my best.
So,
So just a few things that we have going on. So the Chess with Cops program that's going to be run out of the youth center now, that's going to be starting next week on the 6th. This will have run by Officer Dos Reyes.
okay,
Right now we have about 15 people who are signed up for it, with another 10 people on a waiting list. So if you guys know any youth that are interested in participating in that chess program, you know, please have them reach out or go to our website and sign up there. Our Citizens Academy, that's going to be beginning on March 27th. That's a Wednesday, and it's about 12 to 14 weeks, I believe it is. That goes on every week. Just giving you guys a little idea of what a police department does and what our jobs are, different types of units that we deal with. We have a tax prep going on every Tuesday right now, run out of CRB. We have a accountant that comes in, she does taxes for free and helps out anybody that makes an appointment and runs through it. I can actually get that information, hopefully bring it back to you guys at some point and send it to Gary so we can have you guys send it out. Yeah, that goes on every Tuesday. Usually her hours between 3 and 7:30.
What's her name?
I do not recall.
there's some flyers out there on the board, I've seen it, that the tax preparation day.
Yeah, I believe that's her,
You
yeah.
have leaflets out, right?
Yep. But yeah, she does it every Tuesday. She's great. Unfortunately, I'm horrible with names, so I always forget it. But yes, that's every Tuesday
Where?
at CRB.
Oh.
So 935 Hamilton Street.
Yeah. CRB is the Community Relations Bureau.
Yeah, right next to the.
That's not Coletta.
What was it?
Coletta?
Coletta? No, not Coletta. Right next to the Foot Locker.
Oh.
Yeah, across from the Walgreens. Director Mayweather brought up the test. The application goes out this Friday, so if anybody you know that's interested, 18 and older, with a high school diploma, then have them sign up. The written and physical test will come out around May time, so keep an eye out for that. Our food distribution is also next Wednesday, the 6th. That starts at 11 o'clock at the Community Relations Bureau, 935 Hamilton Street. No questions asked. If you want a box of food or two, then you drive right up. We put 2 boxes in, you guys drive off. No questions, no nothing. You just get 2
Is
boxes.
it the food bank or is it separate?
Food Bank comes to help out. They help distribute it, and we get it's another company through the Food Bank that drops off the prepackaged.
You did it today?
That's next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
Yep, next
Okay.
Wednesday, 11 a.m.
Somebody was asking me about, okay.
Yep. What else we got? Last thing is there's a career fair going on at Keene University that Franklin will be a part of, as well as I believe 80 other agencies. They're also there, U.S. Marshals, Secret Service, ATF, a bunch of different federal and local law enforcement. So if you guys know anybody that's looking into get into the law enforcement career, whether federal, municipal, whatever it may be, Keene University, I believe at 9 o'clock they start.
What
So
date is that?
that is March 13th, so 2 Wednesdays from now.
At Keene.
Yep,
Okay.
at Keene. I don't believe they need to sign up. I believe they just show up and they can walk around. But there's it's actually a sight to be seen. I did it last year, and there's tables upon tables of just different law enforcement officers and different careers that even I didn't even know were actually around and available. So it's a cool thing to see. But other than that, I think that's about it.
Any questions?
Any questions?
I have a question that actually I could have asked the director too. And there might not be an answer for this right this moment, but I'll throw it out there anyway. In terms of solicitors, I mean, we see less of them in the winter months, but is there anything that we can do to curb that? I mean, is that, I'm assuming, is allowed by ordinance in this town, no?
No.
No,
So-
you can call the police for that.
But
But
even
how can we
before
prevent
that-
them from visiting?
Right. So
Period.
Where there is a program that you can go, it's also in Township website as far as I know, that you can go and put your information there, and nobody is allowed to come, no businesses, they
But they will
basically-
still be in the neighborhood. So my question is, I've lived in communities where that never happens. So why does it
Right.
happen here? Why is it that in Franklin Township, we constantly have people ringing doorbells for windows, solar panels, you name it?
They're violating, if you put your home number in that system, they basically are violating what they're.
Correct, but what I'm saying is I'm one person. So
Yeah.
unless everybody who lives in my neighborhood on Dayton Avenue in Somerset is going to, fill that in, we're still going to have solicitors in the neighborhood. They're
Except that
in,
they won't come to your house.
correct, I don't want them in the neighborhood, period.
Oh, good luck. Yeah, good luck.
And like I'm saying, I've lived in places
Yeah.
where this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
This
Easier.
Because
you know.
that places are places where the ordinances, the whole
Prevent
county is, the whole
solicitation.
township is.
So why
Comes
can't
in. I do not
we
know.
do that here? Why can't we prevent solicitors?
Because I would try to stop it, because people have to try to make their money to live, and to go in house to house sometimes, soliciting is a human right, for one thing.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
East
believe it.
Brunswick actually has it in place where you cannot, if they put your name on the
Well, there's
list.
somebody
they
to challenge
cannot-
it.
They cannot knock on the door.
But she's not saying that, she's saying that even though.
I don't think they should be knocking
Yeah,
on every,
nothing in
my,
town, that's what she
Yeah.
wants.
I don't want them knocking on my,
Neighbor's door
75-year-old
Right, yeah.
neighbor's door either.
Like the phone. I mean, how many times do you get the phone?
Telemarketers.
Telemarketers. That's
My
easy.
home phone my mom complains about getting like 12 of them per day at some point.
Yeah.
So.
And there's a way to get those off too, but that's
Yeah.
your phone. That's
And then
different
the
than
trouble
someone
is they
showing up
just
in your
keep coming
neighborhood.
back with new
You
numbers.
can see my phone, man. I get sick.
It's tough.
There is a way to
They
get
got the same
to
time.
curb that at least, the phones and
Yeah.
the solicitations by mail, like credit
Mail
card
I don't
companies.
get so often though.
Yeah.
Well, mostly it's just advertisements, I guess, but solicitation.
Any other
by
questions
we
for
get
our
too much.
fine police officer? If not, we will move on.
So this,
Thank you, Mr.
the
Russo.
community
Sam?
policing, the 14 weeks you
I can't
said,
hear.
Matt?
Yes.
Sam, speak up.
Can somebody miss 1 week or 2 weeks? And
We generally like you to be there every single week, but if you do miss a week or two, it's not a big deal. Like we're not going to be like, oh, you're out. But we do generally like you to be there every week, so you can just learn the different styles of policing that we do here, the different
Training
units.
safer.
Yeah. So like if you do miss a week or two, it's not that big of a deal. You just miss out on whatever we taught that day. So I remember last class we had someone who missed the last 2 days. Which was the SWAT and the K-9 that came, and she really wanted to see that. But so we actually invited her back for the next class, this upcoming one, to come partake in
In
that
those
next
2 days,
sequence.
yeah, you gotta complete the
When is the
training.
next class start?
March 27th.
March
Yeah, I will
27th?
Yes, the last Wednesday of this month.
Okay, under.
Okay, so then how do you sign up for that? 'Cause I
Yeah.
looked for that.
So all these programs, that one should be coming out soon, if not already on there. But all of it's available on the Franklin Township website under the community
And they
relations
got pamphlets,
tab.
they got
Okay,
flyers
I
out
still
there.
didn't see it, and I was looking.
I'll
for
follow
it.
up with Rebecca and I'll send out a reminder for everybody when
Okay,
it
so
does come
March
out.
the 27th. And
Yes.
how long is it?
It's about 12 weeks, I believe, 12, 13 weeks.
Yeah,
And it meets at
okay,
what time?
under,
I believe 6:30. Yep. And it goes for about 2 to 2.5 hours.
under my report now, and then we'll go on to Edna. As,
Good seeing everybody.
as
Thank
Alex-
you.
As Alex will
Thank you,
tell
Ms.
you,
Oates.
as Alex will tell you, and there has been a lot of talk on this proposed apartment complex at the Kmart Shopping Center. And the only thing I can tell you, you have to be careful how you handle that. You gotta be careful. It's coming to the zoning board on April 4th. So if you're asked about it, all you can say is that it'll.
April 4th, that
Coming to
long?
the zoning board on April 4th, and if you wanna come, you can come and you can talk under, a community comments. But, there has been a lot of talk. Alex will tell you that last night, the council's hands were really tied because you have to be very careful, because it can become a legal issue, and you gotta be very careful how you handle that. But if you're asked, just tell people it's coming to the zoning board on April 4th.
Gary, did I ask you a long time ago, when I be talking about talk, did I talk to anything about that 11 property, that Kmart property, about anything that we would like to see done or anything?
No.
I didn't. But because what's happening is what I had talked about or proposed back when they was first talking about closing it down.
You have to come to the zoning board. That's all
Yeah, okay, I got
That's all
you.
I can say.
I won't discuss it here. I will blow it up. I mean, I'll be there.
We were
We need
asked,
some apartments, remember? Yeah.
we were asked to be a co-sponsor. Ramadan is starting, I think, this week. And on a Sunday, we were asked, HRC and the Interfaith Council were asked to co-sponsor it. It's gonna be at the senior citizens on March 3rd, which is this coming Sunday, between 3 and 5. And it would be very good if the HRC is well represented. Alex can explain a little bit about the Ramadan, but we always co-sponsor it with the Interfaith Council. Alex, anything?
Well, yeah, it's going to be a great event. It's a lightning event, actually. The Ramadan starts on March 12th, but the event is taking place on March 3rd between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. in the Senior Center.
Yeah.
We are expecting quite a few people, both officials and the community members. There's going to be refreshments, some good food, and we have a couple of speakers that they're going to be coming. They will tell you a little bit about Ramadan. And so one of the programs that we have this year, and this is actually the third year, for your information, there's going to be a sponsorship, food sponsorship. And what it is we're going to hopefully sponsor 100 families of 3 for the whole month to feed them. And each family, the cost for it is about $100. And so the plan is to raise almost $10,000 and give it to the food bank to sponsor 100 families for the entire month. So that's only one of the programs that the Muslim community is going to be doing during the Ramadan, because Ramadan is a month of charity, sharing food, helping others, and of course having additional prayers and so forth. So come and you'll learn more about it, and you can have some food as well.
Yeah, if you can come.
This is right around the corner.
I'll be there between 3 and 5. Miss Edmond, do you have anything else to report on the flags in other towns?
No, I reached out to the Boundbrook councilman so he could share his experience. I have not heard back from him. And I did send an email to the nonprofit organization that's involved. I have to get aggressive. I guess I've got to pick up the phone because no one's getting back to me electronically.
So Gary, I have a couple other things that I can share which might be beneficial to everybody.
Go ahead.
One is that pretty soon we're going to have a bench in the Senior Citizen Center. And that's not the real bench to sit on, but it's a bench which has information about alternatives to opioid. So if you know anybody who is perhaps having difficulty with the opioid, they can go there, there's a QR code and other information, and they can look at for alternatives to opioid. So that's one thing that we're gonna have, that's gonna be there for 1 month. And the other thing that's happened, there was a stigma-free meeting, and it was really successful one. In fact, they thought that they're just gonna have it here, they had to move it to senior center because there were quite a few people. That relates to the mental health. So anybody has a mental health issue, they can benefit from that. And also the trail commission. There's a lot of good things happening. You know, we have about 70 miles of trails in our township. And so the committee is trying to have a digital map, and those maps will be available for anybody who's going to be using the trail. And in addition, in the Norman Williams Park area, they have a grant of $20,000. They're going to be adding some green area and trail area. And so the whole idea is to encourage the community members to use the trails, and especially for the elderly, they want to make sure that they go out and enjoy and stay healthy. So look for it, enjoy the trails. It's really great. We have so much trail in our township.
Is the trails at all, I know there's many umbrellas,
They're
it could be
marked and
under,
everything.
but is it somehow also tied to our addressing of the disparities, the healthcare disparities in the township?
So one of the things that, the Advisory Board of Health is going to be having a meeting on March 7th. And during that meeting, we have 2 members of our township going to be coming talking about that survey that they had conducted, which basically lists some of the areas relating to the community health.
Yeah, there are
and
disparities in the township. Yeah.
So based on that, they're going to be picking a couple of items to see what we can do to help to narrow the gap. And the trail and the health is also one of them, because that will definitely benefit. I would imagine that educating the community, it is a piece of that effort. Also, in the trail committee meeting, we talked about looking at ways that we can add trails and other things to Ward 4. So that's the ward that the gap is the highest, right? So we're going to be looking at that. That team is going to be looking to see what they can do to increase the opportunities for people to go out, enjoy the nature.
Are you part of our whole committee, the Sustainable Garden and Health Committee?
That's a different group. Yeah,
oh, that's
there is
okay.
Yeah, community garden group. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sustainable. Yeah. Well, okay.
Anybody have anything else? Pete, anything?
I just wanted to add also
Go ahead.
that the Baha'i month of fasting also starts this Friday, March 1st, for 19
Okay.
days, Baha'i month.
That's the Baha'i month?
Yes, for all the Baha'is all over the world will be fasting
Okay.
for 19 days.
Yeah, we
So
use,
2 other things that I will mention, that
Go ahead.
there was a Black History Month event. I
Right.
don't know if any of you had the opportunity to go last Sunday.
I was
It was a great one, actually. I saw you there. And we had a lot of performers by the high schoolers and the younger
Yeah,
folks.
I
It was a
heard.
great event. And also, I attended the 2nd anniversary of war event, which was organized by the Ukrainian church. And it was a really great event. Everybody was praying for peace and ceasefire and, just bringing their lives back to normal. So that was a pretty nice organized event as well.
okay, anything else?
Barry.
Our next scheduled meeting is March 27th. Yes, Johnny, what's up?
No, I just want to make one observation to you guys. Along with what Faraz was talking about, there is a committee being formed for the health and all the gardens around town and
You mean with Safi?
No, Mrs. Planner, the other lady, the other lady,
Safi and,
yeah, that whole group, yeah. And through Ward 4 and some of the other people, our leader was Bo Butis, which is director of the recreation department now. And he's a great guy. He was making things done. Matter of fact, Naaman Williams Park looks best now than it has in the past 10 years. All because of the work that Bo has been doing and helping us down in the Fourth Ward and Naaman Williams Park.
yes,
And we got a whole new everything.
he's very good, Bo.
He's a very good. And he's leaving tomorrow. He's leaving Friday. It's his last day for the township.
Yeah, it's
really?
Friday's last day, he's getting a job.
That's a shame.
he's a
Yeah, and man, he's the
deputy
leader of-
director, and so we wish him the best.
Do they have a
Yeah,
replacement?
Yeah, Wendy White is gonna be
Oh.
his replacement,
Okay.
and she's very good as well. We wish him the best, he
Yeah.
has been really great to the township, and
I know we do it,
I
so.
forgot he's a councilman there, right?
So, but anyhow,
Yes.
you know, I'm sure the Wendy and others will continue the great work that he has been doing, and we will continue
Yeah,
benefiting
we hope so
from
too, sir.
their
Yeah, I'm
efforts.
sorry to see Bo leave.
Oh my goodness, man.
Okay, if not, I will accept.
I was like, contact,
Accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Well,
adjourn.
no, I'm happy to report now, since Sam was appointed, we, our HRC is a fully,
Add capacity.
loaded, so we don't have to have anybody. We will be looking for a new high school
Junior
person
commissioner to replace me.
because Quinn
Mittens graduates soon.
is graduating.
Lucky
Is
you.
it?
Graduating soon.
Make
so-
sure they come from United Nations. That's your,
So-
make sure they come from there.
If you know anybody, please let me know. You already.
Yeah, I have two candidates in mind.
I accept the motion to adjourn. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you.
Can you hear from Sam if he wants to say something
Yeah.
about yourself?
I've been living in this community for 20 plus years. I know a few people here. I work with them in different capacities
Yeah, he
at St. Matthias, Hamilton.
he has a very good resume.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause he
I
didn't-
know you,
he
Sam.
didn't
Yeah,
know
you know
himself.
me.
He didn't know.
I got you, Sam.
I used to own a business on that side of the town that people
Once you on the
refer.
Hamilton, once you on the Hamilton Street,
Yes, I was on the Hamilton Street with Efren
Yeah,
and.
I was on that too, yeah.
Yeah, Pat Janado for 2007-8. I'm
Okay.
currently involved in the Franklin Food
Yeah, we
Bank.
had a guy battle.
next meeting the 27th, okay? Thank you all for coming.